Hey everybody, it's Mindy. I think you can see pretty good what I'm working on there. I'm trying to finish up this Craftably White Tiger. I don't have that much to do, but it is beautiful, you guys. It's beautiful. I am loving it. So, yeah, I'm trying to finish this one up because, I have other things to do, right? Like, diamond paint. All day. It's what I do. Well, not all day. I've been trying to go for a walk every day. If it's nice, I can go for a walk. It's been rainy, like, oh my goodness. Last night, okay, you may or may not have already seen the latest video of my spring break adventures. Yes, my adventures. I think I got to take this plastic off here. I'm about over to this edge where I need to work, so let's take that plastic off. Yeah, so my husband and I went for a little walkie adventure yesterday, and we were like, okay, we gotta go. We think it's getting dark. It's about to rain. Oh my goodness. It rained. It cut loose, you guys. It cut loose. Lightning and everything. A lot of places around us got like major hail. I saw pictures of my friends posting this huge hail. I mean, like big old chunks, and I was like, wow, thankfully we did not get the hail. We did have to rush home, get the dogs outside to go to the bathroom real quick before it all cut loose, get the ducks and the chickens all secured. Yeah, they were still in the pond when we got here, and my husband just started hollering at them, get out, get going. And he's learned that if he takes he's got a big flashlight. If he takes this big flashlight and just shines it out on the pond and shines it right on the ducks, I don't know, it does something. It scares them. So I don't know. They just see the light and they just start moving. So he kind of shines them in, and they came in, so that was nice. Got in just before everything really, really cut loose, and it did cut loose, let me tell you what. But luckily, like I said, we did not get that hail, so that's a good thing. So this morning, it's still kind of like, it's all wet and kind of icky out there. I think the sun's trying to come out today. So that's a good thing. It's trying to come out. Hopefully it will make it, right? And I can get out and go for my walk today. Because, you go kind of stir crazy just staying in the house all the time. So I need to get out and go for a walk. But yeah, it was a little bizarre. It was just like one of those storms that just came in and it was like, boom, I'm here. Let me just, yeah. If you watch the video, there's some storm footage at the end, which is kind of cool. So yeah, check it out. Yeah. So this is my spring break. Yep. We're officially on spring break, where we're not required to check emails or do any of that stuff for work. And we just get to relax. Relax. Like I've been not relaxing for the last 3 weeks. That's all I've been doing. Relaxing. Sorry, I got something in my throat. So yeah. My principal did send an email wondering if somebody wanted to work on plans. Hang on, I gotta get something to drink. This is crazy. I can't even talk right now. Okay, I think I have that under control now. Jeez, I don't know what came over me. Like I think I just had something to eat now. It's choking on it or something. I don't know. But anyhow, back to what we were doing here. So, yeah, spring break, the storm. Yeah, on Facebook, I keep having all of these memories pop up. You know how your memories pop up? It's like 2 years ago, here's these pictures. And I'm like, oh, look where we were. That was so pretty. That was fun. 3 years ago, this is where you were. Oh, yeah. because we always go somewhere on spring break. So all of my spring break photos kept popping up, all my memories, and I was like, oh. Well, you know, there's always later this year. Hopefully we'll be able to go someplace later this year. I mean, I will be retired, so I'll be kind of free, and my husband's, he can take off pretty much, you know, when he wants to. He's got a lot of vacation time he's, you know, got to use up, so they have to let him go. I mean, he's got all this time. So anyhow, we'll get to some of those pretty places again. Not that the places that I've been showing you around here aren't pretty. They're just not, I mean, they're not mountains, and they're not waterfalls, and, you know, all the touristy kinds of things that we would normally do. Anyhow, it is what it is, right? It is what it is. So since I'm on spring break, I was getting ready to say that my principal had sent an email asking if there was a grade level team that wanted to start working on distance learning plans, and she was going to help. She was going to be involved with one grade level. And if we wanted to let her know, we could start working on things this week. No. It is spring break. Just no. That's not going to happen. And I don't think anybody has responded to her because we are on our official spring break. So good luck with that one. I think you'll have to wait until, you know, like next week when we actually are supposed to be back at work and doing stuff. So yeah. Still don't know what that will look like. It's hard to explain to people. There are so many people out there that are talking about their children and their work and their assignments and their homeschooling and whatever. And I don't know. I mean, we're in Michigan. We're in a larger district. We're in a lower socioeconomic district, I would say. And it's just tricky. It's just tricky. None of us teachers know how to teach online. We don't really have a platform to use. I was talking with my friend the other day, my best friend, and we were just like, all we can see doing really is like going to school, gathering up the rest of their math books because they're divided into chapters, gathering those up, gathering up their reading workbooks and this other thing called a close reader, and just gathering up those materials, making some packets and sending them home with, you know, maybe some instructions that just say, you know, for math, do 1 lesson a day. They'll have like 4 chapters. Do 1 lesson a day with your children. And for reading, do these pages this week, because that's divided up into weeks. And just send that kind of stuff home. As far as doing anything else online or whatnot, I don't even know. Don't even know how to do it. Like, what do? Do I bring home like my teacher's guides and just like try to show my teacher guide on a video? Do I bring home, like, we're supposed to be doing money and time. What do? Bring a bunch of coins and just show coins? I don't know how it works. It seems that with older kids, you can give an assignment. Like her daughter, for example, took home a math book with her, took home a Spanish book. So she has stuff at home. And the teacher could say, you know, go read these pages, blah, 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 answer these questions. But with us, elementary, I don't know. I just don't know how it's all going to work. It's a lot different. We do a lot of hands-on learning in elementary school. And I don't know how we facilitate that in a distance learning type program. So we shall see. I really think just getting them the materials that we have at school and say, here, this is what we have. And then if you have questions or you need help or you need some advice on how to work through this problem or whatnot, then you could, contact me or whatever. But that's the only way I see it working, kind of. We'll see what they come up with, though, as a district, because the state has left it up to each individual district to work out their own plan the best way they see fit. So we'll see what happens. So I have no clue what the rest of this school year looks like for me. We've got about 8 weeks after our spring break is over. We have 8 weeks, and we'll see what happens. Just don't know. I did get a response back from my Human Resources Department saying they have noted my retirement date and all of that. Thank you for my years of service, and they're sorry to lose me and all this stuff. And now I have to do the official stuff with our retirement system. I had to order a birth certificate. Do you guys have a birth certificate? Like an official birth certificate? I had to order one. Now my husband, back in January was his birthday. So he went right downtown to the office and got a birth certificate right then and there, right on the spot. They printed it up for him and handed it to him. Cost him about $45 or something like that. Well, now you can't do that right now. There's nobody there. The only option that you have is to order your birth certificate online. And I need that for retirement to prove my age, right? I have to prove my age. I have to be, there's different ways you can retire, different criteria, but the one that I'm going with is I have to be 60 years old. So I have to prove that. So I had to order it through this company, and that puppy's costing me $57.50 just to get a birth certificate so that I can prove to the retirement system my age. Really? Okay. My husband got one, like I said, in January because he wanted to get the enhanced driver's license that works as, like if you're traveling, planes, whatever, it works for that. Gets you into Canada. Well, you can't go to Canada right now, but it does all that kind of stuff. So he got that. And his only cost him around $40-some. Mine's going to cost $57.50. Oy. But something I got to do, right? And I have to get into the system, and I have to fill out all of these different things. What I'm going to claim, when I'm going to retire, prove my age. Oh, I have to prove that I'm married. I have to have my marriage certificate, all this other stuff. It's kind of a big hassle, you know what I mean? Can I just be done? Can I just retire? Really? No, gotta do all this stuff. Anyhow, guess I'll work on that. I can't really go much further till I get the birth certificate, and I have no idea how long that will take. It seemed like it was going to be weeks. So I'm kind of at a standstill for finishing up the retirement. I guess I could get it started, but I'm missing documents to complete it. So there's that. Anyhow. I have some questions here because sometimes I run out of things to say. So I pulled up some interesting questions, and we might do some of those today. But a few quick things before we do that. Let's get the Debbie Downer out of the way. I mean, here's the Debbie Downer. When your husband calls and tells you that, well, he's making a trip today because, I've told you before, he delivers things for the state. He's making a trip to Detroit today. Oh, honey, really? He hasn't had to do that. He's pretty much stayed in their building. He has checked out computers to people that are coming to get computers, laptops to work at home. He has made some runs to the post office, delivering mail. This is his first real out-of-town trip. I wasn't happy. I was like, oh. I'm like, you have a mask? Yep. He says, we have to wear a mask when we go there. They make you. You're required. and you have to have gloves if you're offloading from your truck. I'm like, okay. All right. So you'll have a mask. You'll have gloves. Okay. Be safe, please. Because, you know, Detroit is our epicenter. And that's where the worst of it is. So I got a little nervous. But he assured me, no, they require us to do these things. And so, all right. Cool. Be safe, honey. I love you. Yeah. So there's the Debbie Downer of the day. It's tough. It's tough staying home and that isolation, but it's tough having loved ones that are out there working. Yeah, that's tough. Okay, so wish him well. Please, just wish him well. So here's something. Let's go from Debbie Downer to yay, aha, fun, nice, joyous, beautiful. Spring. Spring has sprung. Spring is continuing to spring. Just before I got on here to make my video, I looked out in the pond and I have those bufflehead ducks back. They're out there diving around, eating whatever they're eating. They're so cute. Going on these little adventures, these little walks and parks and things that we've been doing, or I've been doing. Seeing a lot of life and growth and just, you know, nature has its way of saying, hey, revitalize, renew your spirit, renew the earth's spirit. It's just, I love it. That's the good part about being able to go out on these walks and things like that. You know, it's just refreshing and it's uplifting in many ways. So, real quickly, I am going to say that I'm working on a special thing. I'm not sure what I'm calling it, a thing. No, it has a better name than that. It does. It has a better name. I just can't remember what it is right now. But I'm working on a special thing with a special someone. How's that? How's that grab you? A special thing with a special someone. And it's starting very soon. So Saturday night, I will be live. Hopefully I will not be late this Saturday due to bathroom tiling issues. I'll be on time. And Saturday night in my live, I will give you all the fascinating, exciting details about this project and this springing into spring. That's what we're kind of springing into spring. It's going to be fun. So, yeah, Saturday night, come into the live and get all of the details. Okay? You'll want the details. Yeah. So there's that. Fun stuff. Yay. A fun thing to do. Again, let's revitalize our spirits. Let's renew and refresh and uplift. And that's what it's going to be all about. Renewing, refreshing, uplifting. Yeah. So you don't want to miss it. Like I said, 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time is my live, and you'll get all of the necessary information there. I'm just giving you a little teaser. That's all. Oh, did you hear that? Honk, honk. I don't know who they're honking at. I think I've told you before there is a pallet factory down the road until we get a lot of big trucks up and down the road delivering pallets and stuff. Not certain what they're honking at, though. It's not my dog. My dog's not out on the road. They're inside. Ducks? No, the ducks aren't out. Okay, I don't think it's anything to do with my house. All right. Anyhow, so yeah, there's all of the information, all of the updates, all of the... Oh, quick update. My mom did go to have chemo yesterday. She's only got one left, you guys. One left. We just got to get her through, you know, this week, one more chemo, and then she's done. And then she just gets to move on to The healing process. Yes. So, yay. Yay. Oh, yay. I think I'm going to need to go do some shopping for them, though. I think that's what my dad said. Oh, man. What am I doing? Look at all of those. Seriously? I missed all of these down here in the corner. Ah, I see. There's people walking down the road with dogs and a kid on a bike. Aha. That's what they were honking at. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. These people, I have no idea where they live. They don't live on our street. They must live across the main road in the lake neighborhood over there. But they've been walking down our road like almost every day I see them. They got two great big huge dogs. Yeah, so. Okay. I found some questions because, like I said, sometimes I just kind of run out of things to talk about. So I gathered some questions. I've never really done tag questions before, but I thought I would do a few today. So we're going to do a few tag questions. I tried to find some interesting ones. So these are called deep questions. There's some deep questions. All right. And I don't know if I can answer all of them. Like number one starts out with, what are you most likely very wrong about? Very wrong about something. Well, I always tell my husband I'm never wrong. And when I admit sometimes to him that he was right about something, he's like, what? What? Wait, say that again. Can you say that louder, please? And then he'll be like, what's the date today? It happened one day last week. I was wrong about something. He was right. And he was like that. Yeah. So I don't know what I actually think I might be wrong about. I don't know. I try not to be wrong. Here goes my voice again. What is going on with this? I try not to be wrong about anything. I try to know my facts, and if I speak about something, it's because I know it's true. I try not to be wrong, but what could I be wrong about? I don't know. I don't think there's ghosts. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe. I don't know. I honestly can't think of something off the top of my head that I might actually be wrong about. That sounds bad, doesn't it? Sounds very arrogant or something. But I can't think of anything right now that would fall into that category. Sorry. Let's go on to question 2. Question 2 is, what chapters would you separate your autobiography into? Wow. What chapters would I separate my autobiography into? Well, I think I would start with my childhood. And my childhood would actually have to be broken down into a couple of chapters. Because there's my childhood when I was young, until, my birth age, until about 13, when we lived in the first house that I remember. I mean, we only lived in 2 houses that I ever lived in. But the first one was when I was a young child, with my best friends and the kids in the neighborhood. Very small neighborhood. It was really just a large block, 4 streets, but it was a long street. It was kind of a country suburb, I guess is what we would call it. Country subdivision. And when you got to the end of my street, there weren't even very many houses. So that would be the one chapter, is my friends there, growing up there, our yard, our sandbox. Loved to play in the sandbox. We had a big corner sandbox with a tree. I was always out in the sandbox. Of course, my mom always was worried about me when I came into the house. She would check me over Like you know, do a body check to make sure I didn't come in with caterpillars crawling all over me and, you know, things like that, because I loved caterpillars and bugs and things like that. And I would frequently have them just crawling all over my arm or whatever. My mom would be like, nope, check at the door, make sure you're not bringing any of those critters in. But it was fun. I had friends there. So that would be my first chapter. Then my second chapter would be when we moved. My parents decided they wanted to move out into the country. Like, we were already kind of country. We were in this small little neighborhood, 4th Street neighborhood, but a block. It wasn't even that. Anyhow, they wanted to move out into the country, built a house, and I moved out there when I was about 13. That changed my world completely. I did not want to go. I did not want to move out there because all my friends were in this little neighborhood. It was what I'd always known for 13 years. I didn't want to go. I didn't have to change schools or anything. We moved about 2.5 miles, 3 miles maybe. So I was still in the same school district and everything, but I didn't want to go. I ended up enjoying it out there, living in the country, but I didn't have very many friends. There were no friends in the neighborhood. It's a good thing I was like in junior high and stuff, because my friends came from school, and I really didn't have any friends out there where we lived. My sister made friends, one of her good friends out there, but there wasn't anybody out there that I really... It was one of those roads that had like, 10 houses on it in a mile, and there just wasn't anybody there for me. So that would be my second chapter. Third chapter would have to be my young adulthood, when I was still living at home, going to school, working, dating, all of that stuff. That would be my third chapter. And then the next chapter would be when I met my first husband and what that was all about. Yep. And that would be a whole big chapter on him and us and our life. And boy, the stories I could tell there just with that. But yeah, I don't want to. I mean, it was what it was. I shouldn't have ever married him. Probably. I mean, if he ever watched this, he'd not be happy to hear that, but I probably shouldn't have. We did not have a basis for getting married that was, the right basis. Let me say that. It wasn't the right reason to get married. And in spite of all my efforts of trying and trying and trying and trying, time and time again, it just didn't work. So there's that. So we made it through that. And then, there was the period where I would say I was alone raising the kids, but then there was him and that whole back and forth time, until I finally was like, okay, enough, and met my husband. And not that I mean, you know the story, not that I had just met him. I knew him. He'd been my boyfriend for a long time. And my life with him now, and our family, and his kids, my kids, our grandkids, everything like that. That's the chapter of life that I'm in right now. And quite honestly, it's one of the best chapters of my life. I mean, I had a good childhood, don't get me wrong. But, I mean, I don't remember a lot. I don't remember all of it like I do my current life, But, yeah. So I'm in that chapter of my life right now. And I like this chapter. I like this chapter a lot. It's working good for me. So there's the chapters of my life. You guys, there's the chapters. What are some things you've had to unlearn? Oof. Well, unlearn. Well, this goes back to one of those chapters in my life with my ex-husband. I've had to unlearn distrust. So, or suspicion. Because, well, here we'll just get in the personal business, I guess. My ex-husband had a hard time being married. I mean, he didn't enjoy it. He got the wanderlust. He, cheated. Yeah, we'll just put it out there, cheated. I tried and tried. He'd come and go, and he'd miss us and want to be with us, and I'd give it a go again, and just to be lied to and all that stuff again. So I had to learn to trust, which means I had to unlearn not trusting. When my husband and I got married, we each had something. We're like, don't ever do this, right? His was financial stuff. Be honest about finances. Don't, hide things from him, whatnot. Because that was his past experience. And mine was, don't lie to me and cheat on me. You'll be out the door. I can't, no, never again. So that's what I had to unlearn. It's how to be suspicious. Who are you talking to? What are you doing? Where are you going? That kind of stuff. And that's no way to live your life. And it was hard. So when my husband and I first got married, that was some of the issues we had to work through. He didn't understand how I paid bills. He didn't like the way I paid bills. I mean, it worked for me. I'd been doing it for years and years, but it was different from the way he did it. So money has been a touchy subject for him. And I would be like, who are you talking to? Who's that? Blah, blah, blah. We had to work through that stuff. We're okay with all of that now. It's just, it took a while because your past and your history really take a toll on your future, right? So we're good. We're all good. But it's something I definitely had to unlearn, that nagging thought in the back of your head, like, what's going on? Something don't seem right, Yeah. All right. What could you give a 40-minute presentation on with absolutely no preparation? Well, that's a funny question for a teacher, right? Because we can give presentations on lots of things. And I've done many lessons without preparation. I'm kind of one of those people that is more of a fly by the seat of your pants kind of person. Because I've done that for so long. I mean, I could walk in without any lesson plans in my room and just be like, okay, I know what I'm going to do today. I'll just grab this and this and let's go. Because I've done it for so long. I could do it. So I could do an entire day without preparation. Let's do a math lesson. Here we go. Let's do this reading lesson. I could do it. And I have done it many times. Don't tell my boss that. She thinks we're all planned out all the time. Well, no, not true. So yeah, anything to do with teaching, I could do on the fly, no problem. I could probably do a decent presentation on diamond painting because I've done it for a long time. I could probably do a decent presentation on some animals, farm life, dogs, chickens. Just, it's things that you know. If it's things that you know and you're comfortable with and you've done it a lot, you're comfortable with, presenting it to somebody else. And really, that's all that teaching is. That's what YouTube is. That's what I do on YouTube. I just present things. Do you think I plan out everything I'm going to say? I mean, some people do. I know they do. And they go back and they look at those videos they make and they're like, oh, I don't like that. I should have done this. I don't like the way my hands look there. I don't like... And they just pick it apart until they think it is this perfect thing. I'm just more like, you get me. And you get me first time through, raw, uncut. That's what you get with me. I think I've said that before. I do very little editing. I just speak from my gut and I just go with it. And it's what you get. So, as far as presenting, I don't have any problem with that. I could present on lots of topics. And I do. What question would you most like to know the answer to? Most like to know the answer to what question? Jeez, I don't know. There's so many questions out there in the world. Of course, right now would be, when does this crap end? Right? When does this crap end? When do we get back to normal? When does life return back to normal? That's the biggest question right now I'd like to know the answer to. There's lots of things I'd like to know. You know? Life after death. What's it like when you die? Sorry, not to be morbid, but that's just something that's very interesting. What, are there really aliens? I don't know. There's all kinds of things out there. Are there ghosts? Are there aliens? Is there reincarnation? What? I don't know, lots of weird things. How to get this 20 pounds off? There's a good question. How do I do that? Lots of things. But what's your questions about life? Have any questions about life? It's one of those things you don't actually sit and think about. Are there questions I'd like answered? Anyhow, there's that. If you didn't have to sleep, what would you do with the time? That's a funny question to pop up because my husband and I were actually just talking about sleeping the other day. Actually, yeah, we were talking about sleeping and how weird it is. I mean, sleeping is weird. Don't you think it's weird? I mean, you lay down, you close your eyes, and there's just nothing, right? And then you open your eyes, and it's been hours, hopefully, if you sleep well. It's been hours, and the world has gone on, and things have happened, and things have changed in that time, but you don't have any reference to it. It's weird. I don't know, sleep is weird. I was thinking, there was a thing about, like, some of the COVID patients, they put them in a coma, a drug-induced coma, and you might be in a coma for days and days, and then all of a sudden you're awake, and you don't really know that you've been asleep for days and days and days, and then all of a sudden you're awake, and everything's different, but in your mind, nothing's changed. It's just like 1 minute you were awake, and then you weren't, and then you're awake again. I don't know. I'm supposed to be telling you what I would do without sleep, but I got into a whole different tangent about sleep. But sleep is weird. And I suppose if you didn't sleep, you would just keep doing what you do, right? It would just be more, you'd work and you'd get up and you'd eat, and you'd probably eat more because you'd be awake more. I'd probably eat more. Have more time to work out, more walks, more diamond painting. I mean, I guess it would just be more of the same things that I already do. Just more of it, I guess. I don't know. What do you think? I think it would just be more of the same. It's weird though. I still think sleep is just a weird thing. I don't get it. Why did you decide to do what you are doing in your life? I will talk about teaching because that's my main thing I do in my life, right? Is teach. Not for long, but let me just tell you the story of teaching because I don't think I've ever really told you that before, like how I got into teaching. So I worked for a bank after my daughter was born. I worked for my parents, first of all. I worked for my parents. They had a convenience store, and I worked there for many, many years. But after my daughter was born, I needed like a better paying job, a job with benefits, because my parents couldn't really offer that stuff. So while I was off on my little maternity leave, I was hunting for a job, okay? And I got a job at a bank. I worked for the bank for 8.5 years. I liked working at the bank. I was a teller. I was good at what I did. I had good relations with customers, and, I counted money like the wind, and, it was a good job for me. I enjoyed it. But one day I had been on vacation, and when I came back from vacation, I was told I needed to go downtown to our main office for a meeting. When I went downtown, I was told at that point that I had just been let go. They had sold the company to another bank, some foreign bank, and they were downsizing. I was downsized, and I didn't have a job. I totally freaked out. I mean, think about it. I'm at this period in my life where the ex-husband may or may not be in the picture, comes and goes. I have the insurance for the children. I'm the responsible parent always. What am I going to do? And I freaked out. I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? Well, I did have some like severance pay. I got unemployment, and my children were in kindergarten and 3rd grade. So they were in school. I was able to spend some time in their classrooms, and I really enjoyed it. I thought, I really like this atmosphere. I like this environment. I like what teachers are doing here. I could do this. Now, I had a lot of college credits. I had a lot from community college. I was going for a business degree. I had an associate's, but I had a lot of credits, and I was like, well, I could be a teacher. And if I'm going to ever go back to school and get a bachelor's degree, now's the time. Let me see if I can do this. So I just trucked my little self right over to my local university, Michigan State University. And I walked in and I said, what would I have to do to get a teaching degree? And they told me. And I applied, and they got me all set up and scheduled me for this, and said you need to take this at this time and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, okay, game on. Applied for loans, started getting loans, went to school. Went to school for 3 years straight, summers included, because I had 3 years of stuff I needed to do. Even though I had a lot of credits to transfer over, there was still a lot to do. I had to do my elementary ed degree. I had to do 2 minors. I had to do some other things like some required math classes and writing classes. Actually, there wasn't any writing. I think it was just math. So, yeah, that's how I got into teaching. And then I, of course, after the 3 years of, was it 3 years? I think it was 3 full years to get my degree. And then I had to do a year internship. And then I was a teacher, right? So that's how it happened. At the time when I got let go and downsized from that company, I thought it was the worst thing in the world to ever happen to me. Later, when I looked back, I was like, it was probably the best thing that ever happened. You know, it wasn't the best paying job. It prompted me to do something else. And it all turned out very well. So that's how I got into doing what I'm doing, which is teaching. Yeah. So I think there's one more question. What's the best and worst piece of advice you've ever received? I don't know. I got lots of weird advice when I was raising my children, you know. My mom thought I was going to have a terrible, horrible, bratty boy child because of the way that I would deal with him. But I knew how to deal with him. He's not the kind of kid that you can push and force to do things. You have to make it more his idea, you know, like, oh, fine, I'll do that then, you know, because, you know, I don't like the consequence, I guess. I had to allow him more time to process things. Where, you know, my mom, old school, you do what I say, when I say jump, do it now. And she just thought he was going to be terrible because I would allow him to, she thought I was letting him get away with things. I wasn't. I just, for the moment, maybe. Like, for an example, it'd be like, you need to clean your room. I don't want to do that. Well, you need to clean your room. And until you get your room cleaned, you can't do X, Y, and Z. And it might take all night or all day. And she would hate that. She would think that he was getting away with something because I didn't make him do it right then and there. But I knew that if I tried to force the issue, it was just going to become a huge fight, a huge argument, and it just wasn't worth it. Fine, you can just sit in your room then till it's clean. You know? So that's how I dealt with it. So I got parenting advice that wasn't extremely helpful. That's one thing I can think of that wasn't good advice, but I got great advice when I started my YouTube channel. Wendy from Gone Off My Meds. She was somebody that I started watching very early. And when I actually decided to make it a channel instead of just a couple videos I'd thrown out there, I just kind of asked her, how did you do it? What do you do? And she gave me some great advice on how to start a channel and how to make it work well. Thank you, Wendy, from Gone Off My Meds. So, yeah, there's a piece of advice that didn't work out too well and some advice that has worked out well. So, for now, I think I'm done. And my mailman came. I saw my mailman go by, so get to make the trip to the mailbox. That's always exciting. It's one of my highlights of my day. Let the chickens and the ducks out and go to the mailbox. Get the eggs. Whew. Yeah. If it would stop raining, I got some flower beds I need to weed a little bit. Things are starting to grow, including the weeds. So I think I need to get out there and do a little weeding. It's just got to get a little nicer, folks. Just a little nicer. Nobody wants to weed in the rain, right? All right. I'm going to let you go now. And don't forget to pop into the live on Saturday and see what this whole new project is about, because it's fun and exciting. You don't want to miss out. And I guess I'll talk to y'all later. Look for the latest spring break adventures to pop up because, you know, it'll be there. All right. Hit the like button and subscribe if you want to see more videos. And hit the bell if you want to know when those videos come out and to remind you about the live on Saturday. Got to hit that bell to remind you. All right. Thanks for watching, you guys. And I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.